Yeah, my name is Elia Blackmore, and I run track at HSC. I'm a hurdler. I've been hurdling since 8th grade. I actually started hurdling to get out of one of the workouts. I was like, no, I can't do the workout. Like, let me go try the hurdles. And then I was just like, I had super long legs in 8th grade, so I was like, oh, this is perfect. I was like, my form was not good at all. There's like some bad videos out there, but I was able to like get over, and I did great at meets, and then I won a county or something, and that was a huge thing in like elementary school and whatever. Like, so yeah, and then that's what led me to the 300 hurdles, where I was like, oh, I love this, because I was originally a 400 runner, and then so obviously like I had the endurance, I kind of knew how to like run the curves good and everything and all that kind of stuff, and then yeah, I ran the 300s, I loved it, and the 100s I didn't really get into until like junior year, I'd say. So like last year actually. I mean, I was good at it like sophomore year, but it was like one of the events where I was like, "Oh, I just have to like get out the way for the 300s," and then but now I love both of them because I realized I was like, "Oh, wait, I'm kind of like good at this." So, yeah, it's a little rundown of like
So you were running away from an event and decided to put one with a barrier in front of it.
yeah. I don't know what I was thinking, but I love it. It's like I love it more than running without a hurdle. It's my favorite thing, so
No, people who are truly passionate about hurdles, they like that component and would prefer it over just the open race. So, Ellie, you said that you started in 8th grade. Was that completely with track and field, and or were you running prior to that? Were you running? Was 8th grade the start of running track in general, or the hurdles?
well, actually, this is like kind of a quick story. I used to live in Central Asia most of my life, so I
Oh
moved when I was
wow,
5. Yeah. So I
wow.
moved for my dad's job when I was 5, and then I moved back 7th grade, so around like COVID-19. But in 6th grade, the first year I went to QSI, which is like I forgot what it stands for, but it's like a private school, and we never had track. And so it was like the
Mhm.
first year for track, and I ended up doing pretty good. So I was with like all the seniors. There was only like maybe 7 people. There's like maybe 20 people on our team. So it wasn't like huge, but we were all pretty good. So then we ended up traveling to Yerevan. I think it's Yerevan, Armenia. That might be it. And then that's where we competed like there. And it was just like a dirt track. So it wasn't like like anything huge, but I did run the 400 somehow. It was like a 200-meter track too. And I loved it. And then when I got to the US, I was like, it was a huge thing at HIJH where I went to. So I was like, let's try it out. And then now I'm here. So
That's this
yeah.
history. That's a great short story. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I love breathing. I'm like trying to talk so fast.
No, you're
No,
good.
that's amazing. So you've competed internationally.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. I mean, I have a medal. It's up there, but I do have one from the event or whatever I ran in year one. So
Wow.
That's
On a,
cool.
yeah.
on a track. Wow. So you've had some time to really get inspired by other athletes who are in the sport. Who would you say has been your biggest inspiration so far in track and field?
Oh my gosh. To be honest, this I don't know if this is weird to say, but Reese Sanders, she went to Cathedral. Like she's not I mean, I would say she's kind of pro. I mean, she goes to Notre Dame, but like I think that's been one of my huge inspirations because like when I started getting into hurdles freshman year, she's the girl that I was hearing about from everyone. She was like everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, like she's so fast," like all of this stuff. And so I started like looking into her and I started like listening to like her like podcasts or whatever just to like get inspired by her because I was like I want to be like her. So I guess I would say that's one person because I've never really been one of the type of people to watch sports on TV. So I know it kind of sounds bad because I like as a track athlete, I guess you get inspired by like the Olympians and all of that. But like growing up overseas too has been a huge thing. Like we didn't have like the US. I mean, we had US television, but it wasn't like oh US sports, all of that. So
Mhm.
I guess yeah, I would say Reese Sanders for sure because she's just like I mean she's a beast at the hurdles. So I've kind of just like tried to like even I've read an article one time and it was like just mental strategies and how she like prepares for meets and I was like truly inspired by that. I was like, this is how I'm gonna try to do it, and I mean it worked. So
Hmm.
Hey, that's a great inspirational athlete for sure.
Right. Well,
yeah,
so tell me with this article, what was the biggest takeaway?
there was like a lot. I mean, she also, to be honest, she also mentioned a few athletes that I follow on Instagram now too, and I watched like their Instagram reels, and it was a hurdler herself. I forgot her name, but she pops up my For You page all the time. So like that's another thing. Like I just like found connections through her. Like I didn't know what athletes to look out for. So then through her and like this article she posted, I was like, okay, let me search this up. And I searched them up. They gave me like good just little drills too to do at like workouts and everything. And then she just mentioned just a lot of like the basic mental strategies that you wouldn't really think worked, but like I mean they do, you know, just like thinking just like about big goals or I don't really know how to word it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. So,
Right.
To help you visualize. You
yes,
know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now you
'Cause
mentioned big goals. Let's talk about yours.
Um, okay, well, I am a senior, so I've kind of I mean, there's not much I mean, I do have a lot of goals this season, so I want to get the 100 hurdle record and the 300, and that's kind of a stretch, but, like, I'm also that's what I'm working towards. Because I mean, I have not committed anywhere for track to any colleges. I went on a few visits, but nowhere really, like, stood out to me considering I've been injured for 2 years, so when I was going on visits, I was kind of thinking, like, about the campus more and also the education, and track wasn't, like, the huge thing for me. Now
Mhm.
it kind of is after, like, my indoor season, but originally, like, after junior year, and sophomore year, I've just kinda been like, "Oh, I don't know if this is for me," like, I've kind of felt, like, put down a little bit, and then now I'm like, "Okay, wait, I really like, this is what's driving me as a person," and I just finally realized that. So, like, yeah, my goals are anyways, I kind of went on a little rant there, but yeah, my goals are to like that's what I'm aiming for right now is the records because then I know once I get there with the good times, then hopefully things will move up from there. But
That's awesome to kind of take us through how your sophomore and junior year you suffered some injuries. So walk us through how you handled those setbacks because now coming into your senior year, from how you're talking, is like your confidence is back. You're excited to potentially compete collegiately. So how did you handle that setback, and what's brought you to the place now where you're excited again about running in college?
well, okay, I'll give a quick rundown again. So sophomore year, well, actually at the end of freshman year at state, I ended up placing in the 4x4 and the 300 hurdles. So I mean, I did pretty good as a freshman. And then I was having back issues during state and I remember just icing it a lot and it was just very painful. I couldn't really hold myself over a sink. Like it was pretty bad. And then I trained up until indoor season and then it was really bad to the point where I couldn't even like stand up by myself kind of. So I went to a doctor and they told me I broke 2 bones in my lower back. It was like my L4 and L5.
Oh,
And they said I was born with spinal bifida, but very minor. And
wow.
so I was like, "Wow, this is a huge change," and then that's, like, one of the things that helped me drive myself is because I realized, like, all these different muscle kind of movements I needed to learn, and, like, I always thought my glutes were strong, but they weren't at all, like, at physical therapy, like, my physical therapist will tell you, like, they were not strong. I thought they were, but they weren't. So, like, that's one thing that, like, drove me as a athlete I am now because I realized, like, I've been putting all this work through these injuries that I didn't think I needed, and here I am now, and I feel, like, built as an athlete, like, I kind of built tier by tier. Even though, like, I had to get these injuries, it still brought me back up, and then that's what led me to I fell during a hurdle workout during my off season last year, and I tore my PCL, like, hitting my knee on the ground after a hurdle, and then
Mhm.
so, yeah, I tore my PCL and I was out for I would say like 2, 3 months, I think. It was a little bit before indoor season, so I had some time to recover, but I got back, like, I would say 3 meets yeah, 3 meets before sectionals, so, I mean, it was pretty, like, quick like that, but that's another thing I learned is, like, strengthening my quads and my hamstrings because of that and my glutes. So, like, I guess that's what I would say gave me this confidence I have now is because of these injuries that led me to strengthen my body in a way that I didn't think I could, and then here I am now, like, I'm like, "Okay, I've worked for this, I've gone through what I needed to go through and what God showed me I needed to do, and here I am now, and I feel stronger than I've ever been." So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I
About
love it.
persistence and resilience. I love it.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So we just like we see you at the top of a lot of lists when it comes to hurdles. So yeah, that means you get on these big stages where you'll be on the big stages. So mentally, how do you like prepare yourself? Like for HSR, for example, how did you mentally go through that? How did you prepare yourself for those type of events?
I'm a huge talker, I would say, so, verbally, I like to talk positive, so my grandparents were over the night before, and I was talking to them, and I was like, "Guys, can I talk to you real quick and just, like, give you a little rundown of what's going through my mind?" And they're like, "Sure." So we sat down and they're like, okay, so tell us. And I was like, okay, so I'm very worried about this race. Like I'm running against some really good athletes. We're all very close to each other. I'm like, I mean, I'm up there too. I just needed to realize like, but I was just like talking to them like positively. And I was just like, I'm that athlete too. Like I'm worried about these other athletes, but I need to realize like I'm finally up there too. Cause I have always been like a little bit down there, like looking up, like, oh, like, yeah, these are, I mean, they're good. Everyone's good athletes. But yeah, I was concerned for myself. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to perform. But then I needed to like verbally talk about it in order to do that. Cause I kind of have some ADHD, so my mind like scrambles all the time. So I have to make sure that the thoughts that I have are only positive, and the only way to do
Yes.
that is by like verbally talking about it. Because then if I start talking negative, at least I can catch myself and be like, "Wait, why did I say that?" But in my mind, I can't do that. So I guess that's one thing I do is I mean, you can ask my teammates too. I talk too much. I talk too much. Sometimes I had one of my teammates of last year or something. She was like, "I can't warm up with you anymore because you talk too much." And I'm like, "I'm sorry." like I like that's why sometimes you'll see me in the zone like this because if my mouth opens, like I I just keep talking. But I guess yeah, that's what I would say is just like broadcasting these positive um,
Mhm.
thoughts and like positive mindset instead of just staying to myself and like crammed up in my mind kind of with these negative thoughts. That's the best answer.
I know that's cool. That's what we're looking for. We're just kind of trying to see, like everybody's process is a little bit different. So we're
Yeah,
always curious as to like what do people do, to get ready for the big meet, right?
yeah,
You
So
like to talk it out in your visualization and talk positive. And I like what you said about when you're saying it out loud, you can catch yourself, pivot to something negative and say something positive. So
yeah, yeah,
that's really,
exactly.
yeah. So how would you say your parents have been involved in your athletic journey? Again, you competed overseas and then you came to the States and now you are competing on a high level. How have they been supportive?
Well, my dad's like he's a huge track fan now. I mean, my dad's always the type of person that like he catches me too with my negative thoughts because sometimes I will talk about things that aren't so positive about myself, and he'll be like, no, like
Hmm.
you're not doing that." So I think that's one thing that they do is like they do keep me accountable, kind of like they'll like just I thrive. I think I thrive off like I mean everyone does. Everyone thrives off positive like enforcement or whatever, but like they equal I don't know, they equal it out. Like he's equally as hard on me as he is like
Hmm.
motivational. So like on some mornings, for example, I train at West Indy in the morning sometimes, like especially last year I did a lot. And it's like, I mean, it was like an hour drive and some mornings I wouldn't want to wake up, but he would wake up and be like, "We're gonna go together." And I was like, okay, like that's what I like. Cause like he's not forcing me to go, but he's also coming with me to like motivate me in a way. You know what I mean? So he's kind of just like holding my hand throughout the journey and like being there with me, but also not like tugging at my arm. So I like that. Like I feel like they're always just by my side and like they're not too pushy on me, but they're also just very like we're here if you need us. And I think I like that a lot. So I'm very grateful for my parents. But
What? So shout out their names. We got to give them, pay their homage and give them their flowers. So what are their names?
so my dad's Barry Blackmore and then my mom's Ruta Blackmore. So
Shout out
she's
to
Lithuanian actually.
them.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
That would
she's a
expl-
diva.
that would explain part of the overseas thing.
Yeah.
Look, yes.
Yeah.
Love.
Now I'm curious here with when did the switch flip for you to be like, I'm really gonna go after this, I'm gonna do this, I'm like excited about it. Like you'd play around with it in eighth grade and when younger and then when you got to high school, it seems like you were in it your freshman year, but you weren't like committed. So and then you got hurt. So when did that switch hit for you to be like, oh, I'm fully committed, I'm in the game for real?
I would say it fully switched for me when I started going to West Indy. Because that I mean, I talked about this earlier, I think at school, like someone emailed me and they wanted me to answer that same question. And I was like, I think it switched when I was at West Indy because my coach Andrew, he like I mean, sometimes I'd have those negative thoughts and I'd say something like, I don't know about this or I don't know if I want to do this. And he'd be like, no, like you want it. He's like, you got the potential, you're there, you're coming to training every day, like you want it. And that's one thing that like made me switch in my mind too. I was just like, wait, I do want it because why would I be putting all this effort into it and why would I be putting my like blood, sweat, and tears and all this time into this sport if I don't want it? And that's one thing, like I did want it, and I just like that was an issue with me with my injuries is I was like, do I want it because I haven't done it in so long? But yeah, I've still been pushing myself through everything. Like, I mean, I did deal with some really bad like mental like struggles just, to like push myself, and they were always there to just be like, you got it, like you're here, and that's what like switched me too. I was just like, okay, like hearing this. So yeah, that's one thing that like just like switched my mind, I guess, is just being pushed like around positive and like very strong athletes who were all going towards the same goal. So
Okay, cool.
Um, so how do you stay motivated through trainings? You know, track, it can be an all year round sport, especially if you're doing the extra. So how do you have your coaches who are telling you and hey, but how do you yourself say, okay, I know I got this?
I guess I try to balance out like track with my personal life too. So I don't try to just be like, oh, I don't try to overwhelm myself with track because then that also is like another thing you really feel like, oh my gosh, like this is all my life is. So that's one thing I learned too is just like balancing my life out with like making sure I hang out with my friends and like hang out in positive environments. If someone asks me to like go get coffee, like go with them instead of just being like, well, maybe I shouldn't, like maybe, like, so I guess that's one thing that like just helps me stay in that like healthy
Mhm,
mindset instead of just feeling overwhelmed, because the last thing I wanted for myself is to burn out through this. That's like
mhm,
one thing I did not want. So I made sure like, okay, I'm balancing these two out. So
mhm. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, I mean, that's a good way to be. And with all the work that you put in, over, all the training, all the overcoming adversity, how do you like now, how do you define success? What does that look like for you on the track? Because track is a humbling sport, and at any given moment, it can be anybody's day, or So how does that work out for you in terms of how you define success?
I think just focusing on myself and not other athletes or like what others are doing. Like a lot of people say like you're running your own race and run for the PR or like your time. So don't try to think about like I mean, this, I don't know if this sounds bad. Don't try to think about beating others, but instead just try to focus on yourself. So like that's one thing I went through is because I was racing against some athletes that I couldn't beat because I was not physically there yet. And that was hard for me to process. I was like, darn it, like I want to win that race, but I needed to realize like I'm doing this for myself and my own times. So like that's what I was racing was my times. Like I was just racing my times like every single time, and then eventually that led me to get where I needed to go. I just That's what prevented me from like burning out too, like or getting unmotivated. So
Great. What advice would you give to younger athletes just starting out in track and field?
definitely surround yourself around motivating people. So don't hang around like the wrong group or people who aren't gonna motivate you or who don't want the best intentions for yourself. So like as an athlete, it's hard to like. I mean, you want to hang around like tough-minded and strong people, like whether that's like the people you train with or like your friends, and also just I think have fun because
Mhm,
I mean you have to take the sport seriously, but also you wanna have fun and you don't wanna just be like I mean, it's hard to say, but you don't wanna be so negative all the time. Like, that's one thing that I struggled with too. I was just very, like, blah all the time, kind
mhm.
of, and then I realized, like, once I started hanging around the right people, I was getting feeded all this right energy that I needed, and I was like, "Okay, like, I'm blossoming now." So, I guess that's what I would say is, like, just stay positive and hang around the right people.
It's great
Yeah,
advice.
I like that. I like that. Now, I do have a little bit of a different question here. Well, not really, but with your injuries and on the trajectory you're on right now, how do you maintain yourself to help prevent injuries and keep you healthy and keep you moving in that direction?
I do a lot of specific like weight training and stuff. So I've noticed a lot of things that like do hurt my back or my knee or whatever, and I've just learned like different ways to condition myself and strengthen other areas. So like right now I'm good because I have strengthened my glutes and my quads a lot, so I don't feel like anything kind of. So I mean, knock on wood, but so yeah, that's like one thing that I've done is just making sure I strengthen the areas that need to be strengthened. So I do a lot of like workouts that my physical therapist requested me to do like a year ago. I still do them. And also I don't whenever I feel something, I've kind of my mind kind of goes like, oh, like warning, warning. So I have noticed like sometimes if I do feel like a little bit of pain, I'll lean off and then I'll just go harder the next day, or not harder, but like I'll go back to it the next day and just make sure that my body is rested and I'm not pushing through anything or any pain that I don't need to be pushing through.
It's great you're listening to your body the right way. That's
Yeah,
Right.
good.
that's
How
yeah.
do, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's just something that was hard for me to learn for a while because I did run on my injuries way longer
Mhm.
than I should have. So that's one thing that my body's just, like, learned is, like, the warning thing, like, "Hey, like, watch out for this." But, yeah.
That's great. Well, what role does nutrition play in your athletic performance?
I would say it plays a lot, actually. I did not really do that good, I would say freshman and sophomore year, but junior year and now I noticed a lot about nutrition, just, like, eating a very good breakfast in the morning. I drink, like, a glass of water in the morning. I've heard that's good just for your body, and then like eating just a lot of protein because I feel like a lot of people might avoid like the hard protein foods, but I've noticed like anytime I go out, I'm like my friends are like, "Why don't you just get a salad or something?" Like not they're not calling me fat, but you know what I mean? Like everyone will get like everyone will get like a salad and I'm like, "Wait, I need to get like chicken on the side or something because I
Hmm.
have to get that protein." So I do notice that like just feeding myself and what you eat is super important. But,
That's
Yeah. And water in the morning is good. You can add a
mhm.
little lemon to it and possibly
Okay.
a little bit of salt, a pinch of salt.
Okay. Yeah, I have heard about that. I did do salt for a while, but then, I realized I wasn't drinking enough water, so I was almost dehydrating myself.
Yeah. So you'd have
So,
to, the easiest way to get what you need in is probably get like a big 40-gallon jug and just stainless steel deal and carry it around all day and just sip on it.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's that's my thing.
Yeah.
I
Hydrate.
do that. Like
Yeah.
I'm a chiropractor, and so I'm big into nutrition. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah. No, I drink, Pedialyte. I did last year before outdoor state because it was gonna be, like, in the 90s. So I did do that, and that's some electrolytes, hydration,
Mhm.
but
I got you. So
Absolutely.
tell us what makes you a great teammate?
I would say, being there for my teammates, like, and others, and not just focusing purely on myself. So, like, being enthusiastic or trying to give good advice or, motivating or just, like, wanting the best for my other teammates. 'Cause, track is I would say track is very hard competitive-wise because you're also competing against your teammates. So, I think that's one thing that was hard for me freshman year. I was like, "Wait, I'm training with them, but I'm also competing with them and trying to beat them?" Or just like, that just didn't really sit well with me. I was like, "Wait, I don't know how to deal with this." Because then you're also training with them, like, you're running against them, you're getting in your head, and you're like, "Wait, are they gonna beat me or are they not?" So, like, I really had to learn, like, we're all on the same boat here, and, like, I think that's what makes me a good teammate is because I'm like, I want what's best for my teammates. Like, I'm always there, like, I'm always to like, there for them and motivating them and, trying to stay as positive as I can and not, like, yeah. So,
Oh, that's cool.
If your teammates could describe you, or even your coaches describe you in one word, what would it be?
maybe bubbly or yeah, maybe bubbly. Cause I mean, I talk too much sometimes. Well,
Oh,
like freshman year, I went through a huge overthinking phase. So, before indoor state and outdoor state, we would get food somewhere because it used to be at IU, and we got food somewhere, and I was like, "Wait, guys, can I eat this food? Wait, can I eat ham? Can I eat turkey? Is bread bad for me? Is lettuce like tomato? Will that make my stomach acidic? Like all of those type of stuff." I was just like searching on my phone. So I still do that, but I that's one thing I meant to say as being an athlete too, like a good teammate with others is not doing what I want to do by like talking too much or overthinking because then that broadcasts to other people and it makes them nervous. So
It
I
can.
guess, yeah.
Cool.
a lot of great things and dropping some great nuggets to the viewers for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Elliot, we appreciate you being with us.
Yeah,
Taking the time out. We'll be looking forward to seeing how this year turns out with you.
Thank you.
We'll be watching. We'll be
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
um,
yeah.
Well,
now people.
I'll see you guys. Are you guys gonna be at the Charlie Riley invite?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
That's my
definitely be
favorite meet.
there.
I love that one.
All right. And then if people wanted to follow along with you, Like, where should they do it, on social media, or and if it is social media, what's the handle that they can follow?
The handle is Elia.Blackmore, so Elia.Blackmore, and I do have a private Instagram right now, but I probably should make it public. But yeah, that's probably the best way. I have been posting more about my times because I haven't really been into like the social media posting, and my coaches kept telling me you got to start posting. So
Hmm.
yeah, I just started posting more of my times and just like meet updates and everything. So that's a great way to like hear more about me. But yeah.
Hey, great. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you. Definitely at Charlie Ride you, but definitely the rest of this outdoor season. Wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for inviting me on this podcast. It was really nice.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.